Hello everybody and welcome to another community fortress. This fortress was sent in on the Discord by Nunda. If you would like to send in a fortress for me to have a look at on this show, you can do that via my Discord. There is a link down in the description. Simply go to the DF Save sharing room and upload your save file. In this fortress, it's a very large open cavern fortress, and I think it's kind of cool. I haven't done an open cavern fort like this in this version, so it's something new for me to look at, and I'm quite excited. So their description is, they dug a big hole for 13 years, and it's 35 Z levels deep. So let's kind of run along this kind of little entry road and get a full fortress tour, shall we? So we have these lovely glass walls along the edge here. There's actually spots with trees growing on top of them, which is kind of cool. I guess they just left the dirt and kind of burrowed in. I also really like this kind of channel pattern down here. I'm assuming they just dug down around all of the trees, it looks like. Kind of a neat aesthetic, if nothing else. And then over here we get to this ramp, which leads up and up and up and up and up and up and into the fortress. So I'm assuming that there is some, I see, there's another ramp right there, so they can spiral around and go up here and trade. Right around the corner here, there's a bunch of little pedestals with small coins. Coins. What material? This is a stack of gold coins. I actually haven't seen coins yet in this version. It's funny that they're just single stacks. Kind of figured they'd be like multiple coins, but they have many little coins, stacks of 500 for the year 71 from the looks of things. I see. They're doing a set every year pretty much. That's kind of fun. And then up here, a little higher up, there is a office. It appears to be the duchy. If we take a peek up here, we can see that we do have the monarch. We have a duchy, a barony, a mayor, a champion, on all that. We can move up another layer and see a small cathedral where they can look out over the fort. And then there is a windmill up top with a statue of a fluffy wambler right next to the millstone right beneath. So as we go down, this is where this fort gets kind of cool. So there's some stairs going down here, and there's a little bedroom that the duchy can sleep in, as well as a small library, I'm assuming, for the duchy. And then down here, we have a few ramps moving down, and then these little stairways down here that kind of move into this little tavern zone, which is an overlapping tavern. The Buck Apple is the name of it, which is a really good name for a tavern. We have this little room up here, which is the mayor, it appears, and then their baby, of course, live there. And then a bunch of levers for opening and closing doors, as you do. And then some barrel storage down here, as well as some farming down here on the bottom. And then up and around here, we have various little bedrooms, and they all have little trapdoors in them. And a lot of these trapdoors all lead down to these kind of stairways. So they're basically using like a trapdoor setup instead of using like front doors for the bedrooms, which is very nice and wise to do in areas where you don't have a lot of space. Build more vertically and just have like a stairwell going down instead of having to go diagonally, and then you don't need to worry about getting entryways in because you just have a little stair going down one tile. Up here is a very large stockpile filled with what appears to be just like a lot of blocks. It's a big old custom stockpile. A whole bunch of slabs memorializing those who never wake. And then, of course, a pile of like cave moss covered in goats, which is pretty much means that this fortress is the goat. Now, if we look around, we also have this little back area here, which has, I think, kind of your combat tunnel. So, from the looks of things, I was going to say baddies must be coming from the top, but I'm not actually sure where they come from. Maybe they're coming from the side here. There's definitely got to be an entryway here somewhere that I'm missing. I see. So up here on the top, they walk in along here. I guess they get trapped in via this. They then go down these stairs and then down this ramp to where I'm assuming they just shoot crossbows at the enemy. Considering there's a Mark's Dwarf sitting right here, I would assume that is what that is for there. Pretty effective, not the way I personally defend stuff, but it would work. And then we get down through to the more interesting areas. We got more bedrooms, similar design with the ones up at the front here with actual doors instead of trapdoors. More bedrooms kind of are scattered about, and very nicely sized bedrooms too. A small prison, of course, adequately sized. And then down here we have a little temple, which is the Friendly Chapel, which is dedicated to Kirar, I'm assuming some god. And then down here we have some tombs for the royals, of course, as well as more bedrooms, all assigned to dwarves. And then we have the top of this lava area. So this is where things get kind of fun as far as I'm concerned, because there is a volcano over here in the corner, which is a really cool volcano spot, and I know they said that they dug a big hole. I want to know, did you dig around the volcano here, or was it just like formed like this? Because this looks really cool, even if you did dig around it. Like, that's just a really neat look. That's like one of the cooler volcanoes I've seen. Then there's kind of this land bridge tunnel thing that brings the lava over into this area right here, and then right above it, of course, you know, there's your lava forges for making all of your tools, and then a small training zone for Mark's dwarves, and as well as all of the kilns and, you know, your furnaces and your smelters. You don't need a ton of them. Honestly, like, metal industries are pretty productive even with a small number of shops, so that's more than sufficient. But then the stairs kind of just keep going down a little bit. Now, there was, I guess, something here that this bridge connected to at some point, but it must just not be a thing anymore because it's no longer a concern. But we can follow this down, and it kind of goes down into here, and then there's more stuff. So this is, again, where things just keep getting more and more interesting. There's a temple over here, as well as a big old office on the side. If we go down one layer, there's a gem cutter shop. I'm not sure why it's down a ramp. Maybe they just wanted to make things look different. We have these alunite floors, which isn't a mineral you see very often. And this just goes into the caverns. So we've got a few spindly bridges that go to some very far away kind of scary spots. I wonder what this room's for. It doesn't seem to have any use. There is a little stair going up this way, but it doesn't really lead anywhere. There's also this stairway here. I'm super perplexed by a lot of these stairways. It's like, where are you going? But it's like there's just extracurricular activities everywhere where the creator of this fort just kind of got distracted. Then over here we have what feels like a bit more of a main fort area. We have a little guild hall over here to craft dwarves. And then up here we have another temple and what appears to be offices and a dining hall and other spaces for Damselfly, who is the queen. So this is kind of the queen's area here. And then down here we have some more bedrooms. Those are very small, but, you know, they do have the fancy black bronze floors. So I'm sure the dwarves forgive the lack of space for the fancier accommodations. And then down here we have a small little room, which is a little multi-story room with this trained giant raven in it, as well as it has these lower layers. So I'm assuming that this... okay, never mind. I was thinking that this was an animal training zone, but no, it's just hanging out. Then over here, there's this little area with a drawbridge in front of it and cinnabar pillars. And then out here, we have this little office with... I love the addition of this bird statue out here. The statue of a rock, I assume? Yeah, looks like... Oh, no, it's a deity of rainbows. Interesting. It takes the form of a male kestrel. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then down here we have, you know, more the clasp champion, which is another guild, as well as another dining hall. And then we have our first kind of little tree growing area. There's a little bit of obsidian there, and then a big old lava sea. There's just so much going on in this fort, and I feel like every time I look at it, I'm going to find something new. This big old animal pasture / tomb. And the tomb is assigned to the monarch in this lava pond. I don't know what's the correct term to use there. Then there's another one of these lava ponds down here coming over from the volcano over on the side. And there's nothing in that one currently. And then there's these little hallways kind of going everywhere, which just looks super cool. And up here, also in this hallway, there's this forgotten beast named Socks. And Socks is obviously a giant scaly leech. It has wings of stretched skin, and it squirms and fidgets. Its dark indigo scales are blocky and close set. Beware its webs. Genuinely a scary as heck creature, which obviously will shoot its webs at any tied-up creatures over there. As we continue to pan around, once again, I just keep seeing more things. So let's kind of fly down a little bit because we've been spending a lot of time just kind of working our way down slowly. Another temple, but we're going to move down, 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 down. I want to see these caverns because we start getting to these areas that have been cut out, more spots that have been cut out. It's kind of interesting because one of the next theme forts that I would like to do on my streams is because I did one where I can't dig. I want to do one where I can dig, but I can only channel, which I feel like will end up looking something like this. But we're going to keep moving down, and then it gets down into the caverns, where the dwarves don't appear to have spent too much time. There is a stairway kind of going through it. I love the way this volcano formation looks, though. It's just so cool, especially the way you've been channeling down and around it. Like, that is awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's a bit of a shame you're not using the volcano as part of a defense, but then as we go down, we hit the second layer where there's a second volcano, and I think that's about as deep as it goes. Okay, there is a stair kind of going down, and then I think that might be the bottom. Yeah, so it goes down to the third cavern layer, but they haven't ventured down to the lava sea just yet. Absolutely gorgeous idea for a fort. Like, I'll bet you that the Forgotten Beast fights in this are titanic and epic in proportions. There's some dwarves training here, I'm assuming as like creature defense. Yeah, no, this is a really neat little fort. I really, really like this one. I know I feel like I say that a lot, but this is just a really neat idea for a fort. That's all I can really say. Of course, there's plenty of red, I don't know, what's the word I should use here? Plenty of red. There's lots of red on you. There's red everywhere. I've read all about it. But that's just what happens when you have creatures like that. I do like that the wagon is still here. I usually end up deconstructing the wagon within the first year, but there's also a big old pig pen right there, which is nice to see. But yeah, no, this is just such a neat idea for a fort. I would love to see a fort like this go all the way down to the like spires in the basement and unleash the circus, shall we say, into these caves. Because if you could seal yourself off and just let them escape, that might be a really cool way to end a fort, is just sealing in the fort and just unleashing everything that can fly from the basement up onto the surface. It would be really neat to do, and it would just be a really cool visual. Although, I don't know how well this fort runs on my computer, but let's try unpausing it because I'm curious about what the frame rate sits at. Just because, okay, it's a little low. I think it might be a little low because of just the amount of animals. Because like if I look at the livestock screen here, yeah, this is a pretty big livestock screen. I would clear like 80% of that because I always accuse livestock of lowering the frames. But, I mean, it runs okay, all things considered. There's just so much open space, so much stuff to see. It's gorgeous fort. Really. Oh, also, is there water physics going on down here? Oh, wow, there is. Where is this draining to? Or maybe it's not draining anywhere. Maybe just like some fire critter ran through it. That's probably not helping. But anyway, this cool as hell fort. I really, really like this fort. I really, really, really like this fort. I love the aesthetic of this layer. This is such a neat layer. So thank you very much to Nunda for sending in this fortress for 13 years of digging. It's a really neat kind of concept for a fort. And I just want to say shout outs once again to everybody who sent in fortresses to this series for me to have a look at. It really does mean a lot, and it gives my YouTube channel something to sit on while we're waiting for updates. Hopefully we'll be getting a patch sometime in the coming days because they said there would be a patch out by the end of the month. So we're at the end of the month now. We're waiting. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you would like to support this video directly, you can do that via my Patreon. If you want to see my face while I play video games on the internet, you can do that at twitch.tv/BLINDIRL. And if you want to support me directly but don't want to do it either of those two ways, check out my merch store. We have some mugs and other cool things that you can pick up. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.